right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful Port Harcourt people, and all the viewers and friends of Zeek Diary TV show. I want to use this privilege to draw your attention to something special, something unique that we'll be sharing on the program this wonderful afternoon. As you know, Zeek Diary is that program that brings and talks about pivotal topics that concerns and affect parents, children, and teachers. And then on today's episode of the program, we are going to look at something mind-blowing, something unique. I mean, a controversy that has been in people's mind, a very big question that affects almost all phases and stratas of life. And we are looking at a subject that affects students, parents, teachers, and the society in general. So I want to implore you to pay good attention to today's episode of the program, get your writing materials, and then stay at the place. Don't allow anything to distract you because we are about to learn. Meanwhile, the show is subject to your opinions, is subject to you sharing, expressing your ideas about every topic that we discuss on the program. So what do I mean? You can drop your questions, your suggestion on all of our social media platforms at Rstv Television or at Zeek Diary on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. I mean, everywhere you find Zeek Diary, you can always drop your comments, your opinions about what we discuss and we share on this platform there. You are the most special person in the world today. All right, and then before we dive into the program, I also want to congratulate the Espanol people. I mean, the game last night was something out of this world. So to all their Barcelona fan, Messi fan, congratulations to everybody. I think it was a victory for both sides, both for the Great Britain people, the England that came out third position, and for our friend Mbappe, the highest goal scorer. We say congrats to everyone and to all the football lovers out there. So it's Zeek Diary time now, so we can continue learning, unlearning, and relearning. All right, so what are we here to talking about today? We are here to discuss on the topic, the impact of artificial intelligence on the human brain and learning. The impact of artificial intelligence on the human brain and the learning system. And as you can see, I'm seated right alone in the studio. No person, don't turn the camera anywhere. My guest is someone I know you really want to hear from. You can see I'm not bothered, I'm just relaxed because I know that it's going to be mind-blowing. So on the program today is no other person than my own beloved dad, my father, my mentor. I love my mentor. I love ACNET Company and Foundation. I mean, no other person than the executive director, ACNET Company and Group, the person of ACNET, James Eweruzo. You're welcome, sir. Go ahead. All right, so ACNET will be joining us all the way from Canada this wonderful afternoon, so we can discuss and then share ideas, thoughts about the impact of artificial intelligence. As you rightly agree with me, we have transited to a new level in technology that's completely different from where we are 10 years ago. And we are now at the AI age. You know, we have different generations of computer, first generation, second generation, and all of those and all of. We've moved from Microsoft and now we are in artificial intelligence. So we've grown beyond just the digital age. Now we are at the age where information is transmitted at the speed of light, at an age where with AI tools you can do so much. I mean, so much. People use it to write projects, people use it for studies, for research, for different purposes. I mean, even for industries use it to enhance labor and make things much more easier. So you can't deny the fact that you are not aware, affected, and then somehow challenged by the introduction of this technology in our system. It's global, it's not just Africa, it's not just Nigeria, and it has come to stay. So we're looking at the position, the effect of AI on the human brain and then our learning system. We've also heard people say that, oh, since the introduction of artificial intelligence, people no longer reason with their brain. We've had so many research where people say that an average student depends on artificial intelligence for almost everything, which includes assignments, school tasks, research, learning, everything. There are AI tools that can literally do everything for you, and you just be at ease and then stay comfortable. So we are saying, is this really healthy for the human brain? Is this really healthy for us Africans as in our learning system? And then what is the future going to look like in this direction that we are running? I think Aknet is ready. It should be ready now to join us. All right, so we have him right there on the screen. So that's Akned Eweruzo, my own very father. A father with a capital F. Good to have you on the program this afternoon. Welcome, sir. All right, so we're still trying to connect with him, but that's Aknede Weruzo, the project manager for so many big projects here in Nigeria, and a writer, a researcher. He's a musician. He's into different things. A tech person, and the software engineer to be precise too. And so I think he's in the right position to really tell us about the impact and the influence of artificial intelligence as it affects literally everything we do. Literally everything that we do. So that's why we have to see how we can bring him down to join us on the program. I am imploring you once again to please pay adequate attention as we start learning. So is it possible we reach out to him now? All right, so we still try. right, so once again, we're welcome from the very short break. It was necessary so we could connect properly with our guest for today's program. So, on the program, like I rightly said, is no other person than my own father, the person of Ark Ned Eweruzo. So, can you say something to us now?
Thank you for having me. I am delighted to be a part of the program from so far away, and I'm honored to participate in the discussion you have today. Thank you.
All right, so just so you know the position of Ark-Ned very well. Everything, like he's the brain behind everything you see we do right here. He's been my father, my mentor, and my coach for a very, very long time. So the life you see is a replicate of the function of the grace upon his life. So it's a privilege to really, really be with him. And I must say, today is a historic moment in my own life and in the reality of Zeek's diary and everything we do. Like he's our number one sponsor. So back to today's discussion, Dad. I believe you very much ready for us and prepared to be a blessing to the many African children that will be listening to us. So we are looking at the subject, artificial intelligence, its effects, impact on the human brain and on learning. So generally, what's the overall view of artificial intelligence?
So like you rightly said in the introduction, we have moved from what used to be known as the information age to now a digitalized age where we have intelligence generated from studying patterns, studying systems, and theorizing solutions. As it affects what was routinely done manually or with some other computerized methods. So the artificial intelligence is a system that goes beyond data analysis to creating inferences and making intelligent decisions from available data, so which is something very new and something that is potentially disruptive to what we have ever known, I think, ever in history of mankind. Can you read me?
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Okay.
All right. So, I think that's a very interesting view of a review of AI. So, like I said, we've been journeying from one level of technology to the other, and then I remembered vividly when. I mean, from the use of the 2G network to the 3G network, and then we had the 4G network, and then here we are, the 5G network. And then at the introduction of this different level of technology, it always looked like something that will not happen. I remember when they mentioned the 3G network, we're like, oh, it's impossible that we'll have internet so fast that you could send them bulk messages at ease. and then you could send large files and all of those and all of that. And then we transited to the 4G network, and here we are at the 5G network. I remember when we had search engines there's one search engine I want to remember, not Chrome, not Google. There's one search engine we had then, Opera Mini, yeah, Opera Mini. And then Opera Mini was like it was like the talk of the day then. You could download games on Opera Mini. You could do a whole lot with Opera Mini. And then here we are. And then I'm learning was technically improved on. Information was could be reached at ease. But then here we are in the AI age. Because of the time factor, I want to be very fast. So I want to ask a very direct question, sir. What's the overall view? I mean, we talk about impact. What's the overall view of the impact of artificial intelligence on our learning system? I think you muted him.
Can you read me now?
Yes, please.
Yes, please. Okay, I said thank you very much for the question, and it's a very broad one. With each new technology advancement we have had in history, there is something that is becoming a recurring pattern. The fear of how the technology impacts or reorganizes what is called what was known as the social normal of people's lives. So you've got an invention, then you've got the fear, then that fear would normally lead to some kind of resistance. Some people will stage protest marches or discussions with focus groups on the implications of these technologies. But often what we have found is that history does not show us that people go back to their pre-technology states. They always have to eventually go forward.
That's true.
So from the time that the printing press was discovered and people were thinking that books will be used to spread heresy, religious belief systems will be shattered. I talked briefly about when calculators were discovered. There was a protest all across England by the teachers that students will stop thinking, stop using their heads. Of course, more recent memory of when the PCs were domesticated, commercialized, and people thought that office jobs will disappear. The theories are everywhere. That some parts even go into conspiracy theories. There are government agencies or bodies that are behind some of these inventions, and there is an undertone behind them. But what we have found out is that people have gone on eventually new normal, and have been able to adopt the benefits of that technology and adapt to the side effects that the technology introduces. And eventually, a new normal is generated with that technology and its implications as parts of its mainstream. This is what I have found as a recurring cycle.
I want to ask a question on the introduction of AI, artificial intelligence. Don't you won't you agree with me that its effects or implications on the human brain and on study, I mean academic study, is more or overrules its benefit. I mean, as students, as researchers, as lecturers, as teachers are directly relying on this for knowledge, and then what's how do we measure truth, and then truth and modesty in transfer of knowledge? How do we measure? How we be able to decide errors? I mean, and then fact in all of these. So I mean, there are so many disadvantages of the artificial intelligence and to study and to human brain. So we're just trying to be clear to say, don't you think or don't you agree with us as that its disadvantages or its negative effects outrule its positive effects on study and on the human brain?
So let me first place a disclaimer and then I'll take my position. The disclaimer is that I am not an authority in discussing this AI technology and its implications. It's a new system coming across all spheres of life, and yes, I am one of those who are driving some parts of it in terms of the adaptation into what was the routine work that we used to do in projects and management. So I have understanding, but I can't say I am the authority. Now the question you have, let me say this, that the premise you should all look at is that the technology has come to stay. So it's not a question of debating whether its positives outweigh its negatives. Right now, we are face to face with the potentials as well as the implications of this technology. The implications are obvious. You have talked about some kind of over-dependence that leads to brain inactivity. The argument has been that over time, human life has continued to subsist because human beings engage with challenges and over time develop the skills to master those challenges. And in this technology age right now, artificial intelligence is getting to become agentic, where it handles the challenges for you and you don't do anything. And because of that, there is the fear that there will be loss of creativity, the dexterity to be able to do physical things, because now the robots, the machines take those things over. There is a fear that, of course, jobs will be displaced, and potentially you could also be lied to, because now you can't tell what is true from what is fake. One of the things you mentioned in your question, that you are now faced with more layers of filtering to be sure that what you are seeing is true, what you are hearing is true. And what would have been cybercrime before will probably achieve new levels of expressions, and who knows just how far things can go in that direction. I'm just trying to say that the downsides are known and they are true, but the upsides are there as well. And like what I have found over time is that people will eventually settle and elevate their new normal to include that technology. So the potentials, the benefits of the new technology is what we need to look at while we develop systems to combat either legislation or who knows, introduce new job roles. For instance, when the PCs came out and people thought that jobs were going to go, cyber crimes began to become a thing, and cybersecurity began to become a profession. And right now we have so many people in that space who are working on cybersecurity, developing antiviruses and systems to filter and screen data and protect data. And that has created an industry in itself. So while we may be concerned about the downsides of any new technology, we need to come to the realization that nearly all technological improvements that have come, we have hardly had anyone that we went backwards to a pre-technology state. So it is a new normal, and we need to embrace the two sides of whatever it brings. I mean, the positives as well as maybe what is seen as the downsides, and see how to make the best out of them. These downsides could potentially become new possibilities, because in solving those downsides, you may be creating new scopes, new businesses, new careers, new courses, new aspects of life that were not known.
All right. Thank you very much for that insight. Some time ago, I had a conversation with Professor Wiabu, the first professor of software engineering in Nigeria here. Yes, the first professor actually for software engineering here in the studio. And then we were looking at artificial intelligence and especially the use of ChatGPT. And let us, he said something then. Something similar to what you just said. And then he said it has come to stay and that we have no choice than to embrace it. And he said the more we deal with it, the more we're going to see more better side, more positive results and more reasons to keep living with it. But here's my question for you this afternoon, Ahmed Eweruzo. I know you to be a very creative person. I remember my first proposal I ever wrote in this life was under your tutorship, and I wrote that proposal for about 8 times. Our dear viewers, I want you to pay good attention. About 8 times. Like, I'll write the first one, I'll submit to my father, he will look at it, he would scrutinize it, he will say, go do this job again. I don't know if you can still remember, but I remember that I wrote that proposal for about 8 times. From chapter 1 to the last chapter, and then it was one fateful day, mommy had to tell me, he said, come on, if you are following daddy's prescription for writing this thing, you will never submit it to. But then, it was a learning process. But then, it was true. There was no use of AI, there was no use of any of these things. It was just brain work. And then, we kept working. And I can tell you for free that there was nowhere that proposal got to, and it wasn't accepted. There was nowhere. No industry, no office that didn't accept that document. It was rich, it was unique, it was in its purest form, original. Example of those kind of proposals are some of the ones we submitted for Zeek's Diary here, and then it was accepted once. At least our viewers could attest to it when our former HOP said it on the program, last week, that she read one of her best business proposals from Zeek's Diary team. And those kind of efforts came through the mentorship of my dear father here, Ahmed Eweruzo. Now the question is about creativity. What is the impact of artificial intelligence? About creativity, what is the impact of artificial intelligence? We've seen students, not being able to write as simple as either formal or informal letter. For them to write anything, they have to put a prompt on the phone, on the system, and then get information and copy down. Solving simple arithmetics is not as bad as people have to copy it, put on AI, and then get either true or false result and then stand on it. And then there is this acceptability that came with the introduction of AI, that either the information is true or false, or partially true or partially false. People just take it to be the standard. Hence, it is coming from artificial intelligence. Hence, it is coming from a chat box. Now, what is the position of our creative mind? What is the effect of it? Are we really going to grow? Because I've also seen people use this same AI to improve their creative skills. We've seen graphics designers doing better through the use of AI. We've seen people learn, go have free courses on artificial intelligence and then improve on themselves. But at the same time, we are seeing it, especially in the learning environment, where both teachers and students are copying word to word on different areas of learning through the use or the aid of artificial intelligence. So the question comes back about creativity. What is the position of artificial intelligence? Up to you, Aknel Werizo.
Confirm you can hear from me.
I can hear from you now.
Okay. So can you go back with your question again? Because I didn't hear you for a while.
Oh, all right. So the question is about creativity. What is the impact of artificial intelligence? Are we making progress or there's a decline? Because we are seeing many creative minds dying, going down because of lack of ability to think for themselves, to do things for themselves. And then, so about creativity, what is the stand of artificial intelligence?
Go ahead. He's being ended. He's done again. Just keep talking. Go ahead.
So because we've seen creative mind dying. I mean, people being unable to people being unable to think for themselves, people being unable to critically do things. So we really want to know what is the position of AI. I mean, it's as bad as we have students that cannot write formal letter. I mean, the ongoing WAEC examination, you are seeing students struggling to write. I mean, to write a simple sentence, you have to put a prompt on your phone to come up with a creative whatever idea. You have to depend on AI. So is it really helping us in our learning system, or is it that we are not properly using it well, or how can we use it to get better? Hence, it has come to stay. So that's the question this afternoon. What is the position of artificial intelligence on our creative mind? All right, so we want to go on a very short break and then we'll come back to discuss more about this. Just stay tuned, don't go anywhere. Monday, set time.